Hello and welcome to the Financial Verdict, where we assist you on your journey towards financial literacy to help you thrive. My name is Rihua Xu, and I am an attorney. I practice law in the United States, but quick disclaimer, I am not your attorney, and this is general information, not legal advice. Today, we're covering short selling in the beginner's series to financial literacy. I intend to eventually create a community that fosters the free exchange of educated and informed financial decisions. So even if you are not a beginner, I hope to earn your subscription. On to today's topic. To help us understand short selling, let me introduce you all to the intrepid antihero of our story today, Wayne, a young, ambitious entrepreneur with a dubious moral compass. He's willing to bend the rules to make a quick buck. So, Wayne gets a call from his cousin, an executive for a huge coffee plantation in Colombia. This coffee plantation's only customer is King Bucks Coffee, the largest publicly traded coffee company in the world. Wayne's cousin tells him there's a new kind of virus that's just been discovered in their coffee beans grown on their plantation, and it's an absolute plague. And when people drink coffee made from these infected beans, it's worse than the mad cow disease. His cousin's really worried because the board of directors is trying to suppress this information from going public. Well, Wayne says, "Thank you very much for that information," hangs up the phone, and immediately fires up his online brokerage account because he intends to get rich. He doesn't stop to ask his lawyer whether this constitutes as trading on material, non public information, which is a crime because, quite frankly, he doesn't care what the answer may be. So, what does someone like Wayne with his dubious moral compass do to make a quick buck in this situation? Well, first, he could borrow, say, 1,000 shares of K Bucks from his online broker, an online broker like TD Ameritrade, E Trade, Charles Schwab, any of those will work. And he would make a promise to return those shares to them at a later date. Wayne then takes those 1,000 shares that he just borrowed and immediately sells those shares at the current market price. So let's say K Bucks is trading at $100 a share. Those 1,000 shares he borrowed, he would liquidate by selling, and he would take those $100,000 and he would just park it in the account with his broker. A month later, the news begins to drop all over the world as people get horribly ill. King Bucks Coffee is making people sick, the headlines say. Sales plummet to zero nearly overnight as regulatory agencies swoop in to take their pound of flesh. In the ensuing panic, investors in K Bucks can't sell their shares fast enough, causing a nosedive plummet in the share price. 2 weeks into the scandal, K Bucks is only trading at $10 a share, let's say. While other investors mourn their colossal losses, Wayne is busy choosing the color on his new Mercedes. Now, how does he cash out? He covers his short position by buying up 1,000 shares of K Bucks, now only worth $10,000 on the market, and returns those shares to his lender, the broker. Wayne pockets the difference, which in this circumstance happens to be $90,000. Wayne is now a happy man, off to find his next payday. Now, that's all well and good, but consider this alternative scenario where Wayne's cousin was right about the presence of a virus in the beans, but wrong about the effects. Turns out, in our alternate universe, this virus, when ingested, makes the host super healthy and immune to other diseases. Now, a month later in this alternate timeline, as people get super healthy, this news breaks all over the world instead. King Bucks Coffee is a panacea, the headlines read. Sales sharply rise as consumers cannot drink enough. Stock valuation goes through the roof as investors gobble up as many shares as they can afford. 2 weeks into this alternate reality, K Bucks is now trading at $1,000 a share. Okay, so you're looking at the opposite scenario. Rather than the stocks now being worth 1/10 of the original value, it's now 10x the original value. Wayne gets margin called, and he can't make maintenance margin, which is the minimum assets he needs to put into his brokerage account for his short position to remain open. I'll go over the details on margins in another video. So his broker now closes his short position at $1,000 a share because, again, Wayne can't meet the minimum. And now Wayne needs to come up with 1 million total to cover his position because he owes the brokerage 1,000 shares of K-Bucks that he borrowed. And now each share is worth $1,000. Wayne is colossally screwed. He's lost an additional $900,000 on a $100,000 original play. This is why short selling can potentially lead to unlimited losses for the investor. Unlike when you long a stock, the losses when you short a stock is not limited to just what you put in. For example, the hedge fund Melvin Capital had lost over half its value in January of 2021 when it overextended its position on GameStop and was short squeezed. And this famous short squeeze, you guys might recall, was triggered by a popular retail trader momentum generated by the Reddit community, Wall Street Bets. So to recap, short selling is the investment strategy that speculates on the decline in a security, such as a stock. Okay, so an investor only shorts when he believes the stock is going to decrease in value. If an investor believes a stock is going to become more valuable with time or appreciate, means the stock goes up in value, he would long the stock, which just means that he would own and hold the stock. So how does short selling work again? The investor borrows the stock with the promise to return the stock at a later time. He then immediately sells it for cash. He waits for the stock to depreciate, okay, to lose value, and then he buys the stock back at that lower value to return it to the broker or whomever he borrowed it from. When that stock is returned, this is called short covering, okay? He's closing the position. The investor is purchasing the stocks to close his open short position where he owes someone those stocks. If this video about sums up all you know about short selling, you should wait before short selling a stock yourself. Shorting as an investment strategy is complex, and there's a lot of different factors there to consider. For example, you may be right about the trend of a security and still lose money when shorting. There's so many considerations to make before shorting a security. The margin interest, stock borrowing costs, dividend payments on those stocks to the owners, and in short, this isn't the play for a beginner investor, at least not on his own. Now, I often hear people say, typically people without a financial background, that it's somehow immoral or unethical to bet against the market. Maybe they heard about the recent events surrounding GameStop or AMC. And listen, I root for the little guy as much as the next guy. And hedge funds, they may do unethical things, but shorting stocks in and of itself is not one of them. The ability to short a stock is pivotal to how a free market functions and for market efficiency as a whole. I'm going to be posting free content regularly. If this information has been helpful or entertaining to you and you like to see more, please do me the favor and hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to The Financial Verdict. Until next time.